How to build eye contact with your animal. Dog. One of the most important things that you need to teach your dog is eye contact. You can always tell when a dog is truly well trained when you see them constantly looking up at their owners. Teaching your dog to make eye contact with you is fantastic and should be incorporated into all of your training sessions. One of the benefits of your dog making eye contact is that it is almost like they are constantly looking up at you to make sure they are doing the right thing. You can train your dog to increase their eye contact fairly simply. I like to do it when playing with my dog. Here are 3 steps to building eye contact with your dog while playing a game with them. 1. We are going to be playing with one of your dog's favorite toys. It can be a ball or a rubber toy. Just about anything that your dog likes to play with will work. We are going to show them the toy, but not let them have it. You can hold it behind your back or just hold it on the ground. 2. Your dog will most likely focus all their attention on the toy and may try to get it from you, but don't let them have it. We are going to wait for the dog to stop looking at the toy and look up at us. In the beginning, it might take a long time for them to look up, but it will get easier the more you repeat it. 3. When your dog finally looks up at you as if to say, "When are we going to play?" that is when you can praise your dog and give them the toy to play with. Then you just need to repeat this process a few times until your dog looks up at you as soon as you take the toy. This process can be done in a variety of situations. Try it before giving your dog their dinner or any other food reward. When you are training your dog, you can also wait for them to make eye contact with you before you reward them. You will see a noticeable improvement in your dog after a few weeks of working on this with your dog. In the end, you will have a much more enjoyable dog to work and live with. How to detect attraction through the eyes. The human eyes are believed to hold the key to the heart and soul. The eyes almost always fail in lying. The eyes reveal what words fall short in sharing, so it's important to frequently keep eye contact to detect what someone is actually feeling. Being able to know how to detect messages sent through our eyes will help us mind read others, and it will surely take us a long way in figuring out about someone's true feelings. Below are some examples of body language and eye contact and their meanings. Blinking too much. A complete sign of nervousness and anxiety, but hey, it doesn't mean it's a negative sign. When someone blinks too much, unless they really have some sort of eye problem, it means they're self-conscious with your gaze, and they're trying to sort out their minds how to control it. The sideways glance. They're beginning to check you out, contemplating if you're worth talking to or not. This could be pretty judgmental type of eye contact, but it may also mean being open, but not completely, to the possibility of hooking up. The prolonged stare. This can be a sexually charged kind of eye contact, especially when someone gives you this on a date. They're confident enough to let you know that they have their eyes on you and will pointedly show you that they're interested. The droopy eyes. The flirty look. The sort of sleepy eyes mean that someone is overwhelmed by your presence and their minds are running a mile a second on figuring out a way for you to get attracted. Watch out if this eye contact is also coupled with a subtle smile or grin. Someone wants to get lucky with you tonight. The shy look. This eye contact may be tricky and teasing, and sometimes you can't really tell if someone is into you or just plainly being shy. The shy look can mean 1,000 things. They are looking for your acceptance, appreciation, or they may be too self-conscious around you since you've attracted them to an all-new high. How to gain eye skills for public speaking. If you want to be a great communicator and public speaker, you must acquire eye skills. Almost more than anything else, the eyes can either boost a speaker's believability or kill it, and it happens quickly. Believability equals credibility. Without either, the audience won't bother listening and they certainly won't remember you. As a result, some say that eye skills are the #1 skill to have as a communicator. Different types of eye movements can make an audience immediately uncomfortable. Shifty eyes, for example, are the death of trustworthiness. For many, nervousness manifests itself this way. Darting eyes can send the message that a speaker is either lying or just stressed or anxious to have to be up there talking. Either way, it makes everyone in the room uneasy. Another bad habit with the eyes is looking up at the ceiling while thinking or pausing. This creates a "do I do now" look. It may be that this is just a habit of yours, and certainly don't mean to convey helplessness, but looking up, especially in a quiet moment, can give this impression. Laser eye surgery. Good vision and eyesight can make or mar the quality of a person's life. The conventional method of correcting vision is through spectacles or contact lenses. In recent times, however, laser surgery has become a much sought-after alternative. The laser is aimed at the cornea, the outer circular structure that shields the colored part of the eye, otherwise known as the iris, and the pupil. In correcting myopia, for instance, the laser is set to decrease the thickness of the cornea. This makes it possible for the eye to bring images into focus accurately. There are essentially 3 different types of laser eye surgery. The latest and most prevalent type of laser surgery is called LASIK. This process involves creating a flap by cutting off a thin layer of the cornea, which further enables the laser to aim for the tissue beneath. The flap is merely placed back and regenerates naturally. The results are almost immediate. Vision is restored in no time. The second most popular type of laser surgery is called epiflap or LASIK surgery. This method involves the fractional removal of the epithelium to reveal the cornea. The cornea is then firmed or reshaped by a laser. Furthermore, the outer layer of cells is pushed back and the eye heals shortly after. PRK was the prevailing laser eye surgery method for years. It involved the entire removal of the epithelial cells on the eye, while LASIK is used to treat severe hyperopia or myopia. LASIK is only used to correct mild to average myopia. These treatments are generally considered safe. However, the medical community is divided in its opinion over some of the latest advances in eye surgery and treatments. This is largely due to the newness of the technology and a lack of research on the long-term effects of some of these treatments. Moreover, like any surgery, eye surgery poses its own set of risks, and doctors are expected to educate their patients on the matter. It is not unusual for a patient to suffer complications, even to the extent of having to have their cornea transplanted. Laser eye surgery should only be done on a healthy adult. Mild eyesight issues are not considered legitimate enough to warrant laser eye surgery. Conditions such as pregnancy, diabetes, and illness involving the bone and joint can also rule out the possibility of laser treatments. Physiological signs of eye contact. Street traders know the importance of the eyes when using their selling skills to keep their potential buyers interested. When you are aroused or interested in an object, your pupils will dilate, and this is a big cue for salesmen all over the world. Also, when you are interested in someone sexually, your pupils will dilate and you will hold the person's gaze a little longer than normal. When I was single, I always knew when a girl was interested in me through her eyes. Now that I am married, if I get the same signals, I discourage eye contact. Everyday conversation and eye contact. We will use eye contact every day of our lives, so it makes sense to learn the best ways to use your eyes to your advantage. Certain situations demand different uses of the eyes. For example, if you are arguing, it is seen as strong if you can hold your gaze. If you are referring to someone, it is better to lower your eyes. If you love someone, it is good to stare into the pool of the eyes. Reasons you should do eye laser surgery. There are a number of reasons why you should do eye laser surgery, but also many reasons why you shouldn't. This article examines those reasons in order that you can make an informed decision if eye laser surgery, or LASIK, is right for you. To start, we can discuss the conditions which are certainly treatable by LASIK and mean that you could or should do eye laser surgery. Myopia, or nearsightedness, hyperopia, farsightedness, or astigmatism are all treatable by eye laser surgery. As long as your vision has remained unchanged for at least 2 years, then you would probably experience benefit from having the procedure done. There are some caveats to these, though, and we can start with your age. If you are under 18 years old, then eye laser surgery is most definitely not right for you. The FDA has not approved any laser for the use of LASIK for people under 18, because in all likelihood, your vision prescription will still be changing. There is also the legal argument that minors may not be able to sign a legal consent form. There are also some other considerations. You should be aware that eye laser surgery, like all other surgical procedures, does come with some risks attached to it, and your vision at the end may be less than perfect. Furthermore, it is possible that you may encounter side effects, such as a glare effect. If you are not willing to accept the potential risks, then eye laser surgery is not right for you. Once the LASIK procedure has been completed, there will be a significant amount of time required to recover. In other words, results will not be immediate. You will also need to follow a fairly strict regimen of medications, such as eye drops. If you feel unable to do this, then eye laser surgery is not right for you. If you have any of the following conditions: diabetes, autoimmune diseases, if you are immunocompromised at all, collagen vascular disease, then you should not be considering to do eye laser surgery. If you are taking any medication which might impair or prevent your natural healing, then you should not be considering to do eye laser surgery. The type of medications in question are steroids or immunosuppressants. There are a number of existing eye conditions which can also mean that you should not be considering to do eye laser surgery. Some of the conditions in question are as follows: keratoconus, or other corneal thinning disorder, corneal scarring, glaucoma, cataracts, a recent occurrence of ocular herpes, retinal disease, dry eye. Any of these conditions should preclude you from undertaking eye laser surgery. Secret powers of eye contact. 1. Eye-to-eye contact causes arousal. Staring directly into someone's eyes causes an arousal reaction. How that arousal is interpreted, however, depends on the parties involved and the circumstances. Being stared at by a stranger who appears large or ominous can be seen as a threat and elicit a fear response. This is common in social animals. A direct stare from a human to a dog or an ape can be interpreted as a threat from the large and strange human. However, the gaze of a potential sexual partner causes arousal. That can be interpreted positively as a sexual invitation. 2. The eyes will tell you if a smile is real or not. Psychologist Paul Ekman has distinguished between smiles that represent genuine happiness, Duchenne smiles, and fake smiles that might be used to feign happiness or cover some other emotion. The key to telling a fake smile from a real one is in the eyes. When forming real smiles, the eyes narrow or create lines or crow's feet at the outer corners. 3. Pupil dilation is a sign of interest, and it can make you sexy. When we are interested in something or someone, our pupils will dilate. In one study, a woman's eyes were altered to make her pupils look dilated. The exact same photos of the woman with dilated eyes were rated as more attractive than those with normal-sized pupils. 4. Mutual gaze is a sign of love. Research on love and attraction has found that mutual gaze, staring into each other's eyes, is a good predictor of two individuals being in love. 5. Eye contact is a valid cue to deception, but not in the way that you think. Everyone assumes that a liar won't look you in the eye, but research on the nonverbal cues associated with deception suggests that a liar engages in more eye contact than a truth teller. The explanation is that the deceiver goes the extra mile to try and convince you of his or her veracity, and so overdose the eye contact in order to appear truthful. The essence of eye contact. Eye contact is one of the most important nonverbal channels you have for communicating and connecting with others. Defined as a meeting of the eyes between two people, expresses meaningful nonverbal communication. Contact that occurs when two people look directly at each other, or when two people or animals look into each other's eyes at the same time. It is the condition or action of looking another human or animal in the eye. When one experiences eye contact with another person, it can cause them to feel acknowledged, respected, and important. And yet, when this doesn't take place, one can end up feeling ignored, disrespected, and unimportant. Eye contact could be seen as something that is relatively effortless and takes very little energy to apply. It doesn't cost anything, and one is unlikely to run out of energy through it. But while it can be easy to do, and the impact that it has can be monumental, it doesn't mean that everyone utilizes this power in their life. This can mean that not only do other people lose out on what they would have experienced from maintaining eye contact, but one will also lose out from how others would respond to them if they had experienced it. Trust. To receive eye contact from someone can create the impression that they are trustworthy. Of course, people can have really good eye contact and still have something about them that makes one wonder if they can be trusted. So it is not everything, but it is going to play a big role in if one thinks someone can be trusted or not. One can end up feeling more at ease and safer through it being there. Without it, one can appear shifty and deceptive. It could be due to shyness or low confidence, but this is often overlooked and labeled as one being rude or even ignorant. Connection. As it can lead to trust being formed, it, therefore, means that it will play a big part in how connected one feels to another. When one talks to someone and eye contact is there, each person can come to the conclusion that they matter, and they could even end up feeling special because of it. The absence of this is going to stop one person from being able to feel connected to the other person. Perhaps they are a bit timid or have something to hide, but with these assumptions aside, one is going to feel that they can't quite connect to them. And unless one has the desire to dig deeper and find out, it might well mean that this person is overlooked and not given the chance to explain why they are like they are. So through one having bad eye contact, they will have lost a potential friend, lover, or client, for instance. First impressions. Once a first impression has been formed, it is often too late for one to change it. And this is why it is vital that one has good eye contact from the beginning of an interaction. To not look at someone in a shop is unlikely to create too many problems. As human beings, we can end up feeling tired or exhausted after a long day or due to certain challenge in our life. So there will be moments when eye contact doesn't take place. This is understandable, and it is not something that one should feel bad about. However, what matters is that one generally gets it right around their friends, family, potential lovers or partners, or in a business setting, for example. This is when it truly matters. Different approaches. There is naturally going to be differences in how one uses eye contact around different people. When it comes to friends or family, one may well have a fairly balanced approach. So looking at them for a fairly short time and then looking away. eye contact won't be held for too long, but it won't end too soon either. If one was speaking to someone in a shop or on the street, eye contact might not be maintained for as long. To keep it there for as long as one might with their friends or family could give off the wrong impression, and all because the eye contact and familiarity have not yet been developed. And then there is going to be a different degree of eye contact when one is speaking to their partner, lover, or someone who they would like to be more than just friends with. In this context, keeping eye contact can allow attraction to develop or to be maintained, or for one to be able to take things further. Avoidance. There can be times when eye contact can be dangerous, and avoiding it completely is the best possible option. If some kind of violence or crime is taking place, and one looks at the person or people who are committing it, it could cause them to become agitated and even more hostile. So avoiding it could save one from being injured or mugged or even from losing their life. This relates to what could be an extreme example for some people and a fairly regular occurrence for others. Action. Discernment is therefore vital in knowing when to use it and for how long. And if one is unaware as to how or when to use eye contact, then observing others can make a big difference. And there are now numerous books out there on this subject as well as videos and audios. One can start to look at people for longer during certain situations. However, if maintaining eye contact is overwhelming for someone, then it might be necessary to look at what is going on a deeper level. The importance of eye contact in seduction and dating. When meeting women, eye contact is one of the biggest giveaway signs whether you're truly confident and really a guy she wants to get to know. Strong eye contact signals that you're comfortable with yourself and not afraid of her at the same time. It can be incredibly seductive and build attraction between you. Not being able to hold someone's gaze is a big problem for a lot of guys, often making them come across as weak and easily dominated. The normal reaction of someone making eye contact with an attractive stranger of the opposite sex is to look away immediately. You feel like you're creeping them out, and at the same time you're ashamed and embarrassed. You don't want her to know that you find her attractive. Yet this is exactly what you should be doing. Being able to hold this awkward gaze is a supreme sign of confidence. You are not ashamed that you find her attractive, and you are not intimidated by her. The problem with learning to have good eye contact is that the habit of looking away can be difficult to break. By the time you've made eye contact, you automatically look away before you have had time to think about what you're doing. Your bodily reaction acts much faster than your conscious decision. Therefore, by the time you've decided you want to hold someone's gaze, it's often too late. The solution to this is simple. Give yourself reminders to practice eye contact at specific periods during the day. By doing this, you are prepared to hold someone's gaze before it happens so that you are not caught off guard. At first, you should try and extend it just a little longer than you would normally. As you get more experience, the duration can increase. It's best to try this in busy places. Example, public transport, bars, shops. This can also be done on men as the skill is transferable, and having good eye contact with men is also of great benefit. A word of warning though, some men will read this as a sign of aggression. It is also important not to stare. Once they have broken eye contact, you should look away. If you keep this skill going, you'll find that it will have a dramatic effect on the way women perceive you. You're much less likely to be seen as a friend rather than a potential mate. Lastly, eye contact can be a great way to assess interest. If you catch and hold a woman's gaze, then there is a good sign that she is interested. Note, this is not a definite sign, and interested does not mean she wants to sleep with you. Not only this, but using strong eye contact can arouse interest and attraction. So start practicing your eye contact today. It's an area in which so many people lack, and that improving can positively affect your life in so many ways. The profit in understanding conscious body language. There is a gold mine here waiting for those who understand how to read, feel, and interpret what the body language of another is demonstrating. There is also a jackpot waiting for those who are aware of what their own body language is saying. There is a third jackpot waiting for those who understand that by adjusting, they will not only feel healthier and happier, they will become more attractive and influential. Could your body language have something to do with your success? The science of eye contact. Eye contact is one of the easiest and most powerful ways to make a person feel recognized, understood, and validated. The simple act of holding someone's gaze, whether it's a new girl, a prospective employer, or an old friend, has the power to ignite or deepen a relationship. That's why it's so important, and that's why it's one of the fundamental skills we emphasize so strongly at the Art of Charm. To understand why eye contact is so important, we need to appreciate how central it is to the human experience. As it happens, humans, the only primates with white eyes, are drawn to eye contact from an early age. A 2002 study from MIT found that infants were far more likely to try and follow an adult's eyes rather than just their head movements. And beyond the science, think about your personal experience. We study people's eyes to judge their character, we notice when someone meets our gaze, and we are highly conscious of where our eyes wander. Eye contact is deeply rooted in our DNA. In fact, you're reading this article in large part because your caveman ancestors had an intuitive mastery of eye contact. Back then, eye contact meant the difference between life and death, attraction and indifference. And yet most people have never given any thought to how good or bad their eye contact is. If you want to become a master of eye contact, it's going to take some practice, along with a good grasp of the underlying theory. And that's the focus of this piece: 5 things every person should know about the science of eye contact, the benefits of mastering it, and how to make the most of your gaze. Eye contact can make people more resistant to persuasion. Eye contact makes you more persuasive, right? Yes, but it can also have the opposite effect. In many cases, people can be more resistant to persuasion when making eye contact, as researchers at the University of Freiburg, Germany found. Using the latest in eye tracking technology, Frances Chen, now an assistant professor at the University of British Columbia, and her team of researchers found that the more eye contact subjects made with a video while they listened, the less likely they were to believe what was being said. There are some caveats to this general rule. First, the study involved people watching videos about controversial subjects. Participants who disagreed with the viewpoint they were listening to were less likely to be persuaded by someone the more eye contact they made with the speaker. This might be because liars are scientifically proven to hold more and deliberate eye contact than people telling the truth. On the other hand, if someone already agreed with what was being said, they were likely to agree even more if they made steady, prolonged eye contact with the speaker. In either scenario, we can appreciate how powerful eye contact really is. Someone's gaze can be a channel of truth or a barometer of lies, depending on the speaker's intent and the listener's sensitivity. Both are communicated through the eyes. The implications? For one thing, steady eye contact will help you motivate people to complete actions they've already agreed to undertake. It can also convince people to become more zealous about your mutual position. If you're seeking allies around the office, eye contact can be a powerful tool. If you're a parent looking to instill discipline and connection in your children, it can be equally effective. At the same time, if you feel someone is trying to sell you on something you're not all that interested in, then focus on making eye contact. This will make you less susceptible to a deceptive sales pitch. On the other hand, if you're even a little bit interested but still don't want to buy, looking away might be to your advantage. More eye contact will just make you agree more. Eye contact makes words more memorable. If you want people to remember what you said long after you're done talking, maintain good eye contact. This was the finding of a joint study between the University of Wolverhampton and the University of Stirling. In this study, participants were put on a video call with another person. Researchers found that eye contact increased retention of what was said on the call. What's more, this didn't even require all that much eye contact. A mere 30% of the time spent making eye contact added up to a significant increase in what participants remembered, which means that a little eye gazing goes a long way. Making eye contact 30% of the time isn't hard. That's less than 20 seconds out of every minute. If you are working on making a lasting impression or want your colleagues to remember your words long after a meeting, then find their gaze and hold it, because memory, impression, and eye contact are deeply connected. Eye contact and movement may help people notice and remember you. Eye contact alone doesn't explain what makes your words more memorable. Researchers have also found that movement, when coupled with eye contact, has a profound effect. Two researchers working out of Radboud University and Rutgers University did the first research on eye contact and movement. What they found is that eye contact, coupled with a sudden movement, such as an out-of-nowhere hand motion or a turn of the head while you make eye contact, makes people both more memorable and more noticeable. Changing your direction and making eye contact will help you make an even stronger impression. All you have to do is turn your head, move your hand onto the bar, or focus on strong body language as you make eye contact. That, in turn, will make you more noticeable and memorable. Eye contact makes people more honest. Paradoxically, liars make more eye contact than truth tellers, but eye contact tends to make people more honest when confronted. That's what researchers at Tufts University found when they left a dime on the phone booth and had strangers approach, claiming the dime as their own. When eye contact was made, those who had found a dime in the phone booth were far more likely to return it. The phenomenon reflects the age-old eyes as windows of the soul concept. You know logically that someone can't read your mind by looking into your eyes, and yet you intuitively know that eye contact makes it less likely that you will get away with lying. Our eyes give away more about our internal processes than we might like. If you're dealing with someone you think is shady, holding eye contact can be a simple way to keep them honest. Even if you're dealing with someone who isn't deliberately trying to deceive you, eye contact can still be a powerful tool. Think, for example, about trying to buy a car. Your eye contact, keeping the seller honest, can help you get vital information about the history of the car, or get them to offer you a more realistic starting figure. Whatever the scenario, remember this: eye contact is fundamentally connected to our perceptions of truth and honesty. Eye contact makes you more self-aware. French researchers at the University of Paris found that people are far more self-aware, defined as being more or less aware of what's going on with one's physical body, when someone is making eye contact with them, than when they are not. The researchers believe that we become more focused and aware of our behavior when others are looking at us. There's a thin line between self-awareness and self-consciousness, but being aware of this phenomenon can help you make the most of it. In the company of other people, in a meeting, at a party, on a date, you might find that someone's eye contact makes you more sensitive to your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Once you notice that happening, you can check in with yourself and give a bit of thought to the impression you're making. That is where self-consciousness heightened by eye contact can actually work for you. You can also use eye contact to heighten self-awareness in others. I certainly wouldn't advise anyone to bully someone with eye contact, but what about maintaining eye contact with a girl you're really getting along with? That cool, nervous butterflies feeling can be a lot of fun. When you maintain eye contact with her, heightening her self-awareness in the process, you're giving her a little gift. You're allowing her to enjoy that feeling even more, and you're communicating a number of important things: that you're listening, that you're paying attention, and that you want her to enjoy the present moment with you. You're also doing something essential because eye contact creates and deepens attraction. Hold on to your hats, gents. What I'm about to tell you will make you love eye contact. Eye contact will make people like you, because according to research, holding someone's gaze has been proven to create attraction. And while you might know that a winning smile is a great way to appear attractive, putting direct eye contact behind that winning smile is your best bet, says one study conducted by Aberdeen University in Scotland. It seems that looking directly at someone does most of the work in creating attraction and dramatically enhances other behaviors like smiling, touching, and listening. What's more, smiling while making eye contact has the most power when talking to women, according to the researchers. What we've shown is that people seem to like someone who likes them, based on the direction of their gaze. And it's particularly true of the opposite sex. My emphasis. However, while it might be more powerful with women, it will also have an impact when you're meeting new people at work, networking, or making friends in a new city. Eye contact is universal. So whether you're hustling to meet new people or trying to deepen a connection you already have, smile big, make eye contact, and go straight after whatever you want. It won't always be easy, but it's the best strategy you have. Eye contact can even make you fall in love. Love at first sight is apparently a real thing, but here's the deal. It only works on your end. Researchers using hidden cameras found that men who stared at women for 8.2 seconds or more were far more likely to feel that they had fallen in love at first sight. On the other hand, if a man looked at a woman for 4.5 seconds or less, he was likely to not have any interest in her at all. That's just one problem. The women did not reciprocate the men's amorous feeling. It was all in the man's head. The lesson here is that eye contact can be powerful, but not always mutual, and in the case of this study, not always reliable. Because our gaze can create an incredibly powerful experience, sometimes only for ourselves, it's easy to project those feelings onto objects. Be aware of that and resist the feeling that you've fallen in love, before she even opens her mouth. Eye contact is a powerful attractor, an opening fundamental, but there's a human to get to know on the other side. The bottom line? Eye contact is an immensely powerful capability that creates better connections, keeps people honest, and generally enriches relationships. With a bit of practice, you can become a master of this essential skill. They say the eyes are the gateway to the soul. When it was said, they were referring to us humans. Types of eye contact lenses. Contact lenses, glasses, and sportswear are created to make your eyes protected from being damaged. While glasses bring a lot of discomforts, most people would like to try and make sure their eyes are still protected, minus the discomfort. That is why they choose to wear geo-contact lenses. There are different kinds of contacts, such as colored contact lenses, and one cannot wear the same as to others. Picking the right contact lenses to correct your vision. There are different kinds of eye contacts that you can choose from. People wear such because it is more comfortable and less hassle to wear than glasses. For you to find the right kind of circle lenses for your vision correction, you need to see an eye specialist. Before you choose the right one in your optical shop, you need to make sure that you go to your optometrist for your eye checkup. This is very important for you to be able to find the right kind of circle lenses suitable for your eyes. The expert will tell you about what you need to have to alleviate your eye or vision problem. Second is to choose a contact lens that will fit perfectly into the cornea. You should also choose which kind of lens you would like to have. There is soft and a hard lens available, so you need to pick the right one that is comfortable to wear. There are also disposable lenses that you can choose from. An eye expert will not just give you a contact lens because you want to look different. The purpose of circle lenses is to correct your eye or vision problem for you to see clearly. Choosing between soft and hard eye lenses. You might be familiar with glasses, but since eye lenses are newer, only a few have knowledge about it. Choosing between the two types of circle lenses, soft lenses and hard lenses, might be a tricky task to do. So, how would you choose for the soft lens rather than the hard lens, or vice versa? Soft lens. This is very comfortable when worn. People often use this because of the comfort that it gives. People might not even notice that you are wearing one if you wear a contact lens. The material that is used in making soft contacts are like plastic but more flexible and of higher quality. These are usually used in colored contact lenses and other fashion eye lenses. Hard lenses. Permeable and semi-rigid, this is the best way to describe a hard contact lens. Even though they look like plastic, they are actually not. The hard lens is made of glass. These are usually intended for correcting visions and for reading. Silicone contact lenses for dry eyes. If you happen to feel dryness and uncomfortable feeling from wearing contact lenses and glasses, you might want to try another set of eyewear that will give you the chance to see clearer minus the irritation and dryness of your eyes. Silicone contact lenses are the new fad nowadays when it comes to the lenses that you can buy. The material that has been used in this lens is made from high oxygen permeability materials. This is good for cornea and wearers will never feel discomfort anymore. It has a high oxygen content that needed by the eye to see clearer. If you are experiencing a lot of dryness in the eye, it is better then you choose to go to an eye doctor for a consultation, and they will let you know what needs to be done for the eye to see clearer and brighter. Ways to dramatically improve your eye contact skills. Is your eye contact aggressive? Is it soft? Is it inviting? Do you love with your eyes? Eye contact is a very tricky art to master, but vital to effective communication. How can you make it better? Eye contact provides social information to the person you are listening to and talking to. Too much eye contact and you could be seen as aggressive. Too little eye contact and you can be seen as having no interest in the person speaking. It is an often overlooked skill to have and an underutilized skill when communicating with people. You can see masters of eye contact in great salespersons, politicians, and good public speakers. Ways to improve your eye contact skills. Talking to a group. When talking to a group of people, it is great to have direct contact with your listeners. Don't make the mistake of maintaining eye contact with just one person, as this will stop the other members of the group from listening. To get past this, focus on a different member of the group with each new sentence. That way, you are talking to the entire group and keeping them all interested. Talking to an individual. It is great to maintain eye contact when talking to a person. However, it can become a bit creepy and uncomfortable if you stare intensely at them. To combat this, break eye contact every 5 seconds or so. When breaking eye contact, don't look down, as this might indicate the ending of your part of the conversation. Instead, look up or to the side, as if you are remembering something. Try it just now. Don't move your head, and think about the first time you started school. You will notice your eyes might move up or to the side as you try to remember this. So, when your listener sees this, they will think that you are trying to remember something and keep on listening to you. Listening to someone. When you are listening to someone, it can be off-putting for the talker if you stare at them too hard. The technique I use when I am counseling someone is to use what I call the triangle. This is when I look at one eye for about 5 seconds, look at the other eye for 5 seconds, and then look at the mouth for 5 seconds, and keep on rotating in this way. This technique, coupled with the other listening skills such as nodding, occasional agreement words such as yes, uh-huh, etc., is a great way to keep the talker talking and to show them that you are interested in what they are saying. Arguing. Arguing with someone is a skill in and of itself, and if you want to compete in an argument, holding the gaze shows strength. If you look away when arguing with someone, you have all but lost the argument. Obviously, this depends on who you are arguing with, But in general, it is better to hold the gaze whilst you are making your point, and also when you are listening to the other person. We have all come across the person who is just great at arguing and making you feel small. You will notice that everyone who is like this will try to stare you out. Stare back. It will surprise them, piss them off, and put them off what they are trying to say. Staying silent and staring at someone who is trying to rile you is also an effective way to win an argument without saying a word. Attracting someone. When you are trying to attract someone and show them you are interested, you can talk and listen with your eyes. When a person you like is speaking, use the whole face as your focal point. Look at their eyes. Listen to what they are saying. Smile in the appropriate places. Raise your eyebrows in the appropriate places. If you feel you are staring at them, move to their other features, such as their lips, their cheeks, their nose, and then back to their eyes. Smiling when listening to someone is a great way to show you are interested in them. Obviously, don't smile when they have just told you that their pet died last night. You have to listen with your ears as well as listening with your eyes. Yes, I did mean listening with your eyes. You listen to someone's body language with your eyes. Loving someone. My wife and I often share a prolonged gaze into each other's eyes, and it is a very special thing to just share without talking. My wife's pupils will dilate, and she can see my pupils dilating. It creates a strong bond between us. To make your pupils dilate even more, you can try this. As you are staring at your partner, imagine yourself going inside their body and your two souls making love. You are trying to touch their very soul. This will release adrenaline and make your pupils dilate even more. Why are the eyes so important? The eyes have been described as the window to a person's soul. Up to 93% of what we communicate to others is nonverbal, and the eyes play a huge role in that. You can tell a lot of things about a person with just one look into his or her eyes. Even children, when they want to know what an adult is thinking or feeling, will stare into the eyes. They haven't been trained to do this, it's an innate action. Whatever you do with your eyes, know this. If you fail to connect with people with your eyes, you'll not get the message across. Think about the people you've spoken to, even one-on-one. A person who can't look another in the eye sends a message that he or she lacks confidence or doesn't trust the other. Do you believe a person that can't look you in the eyes when talking? So what is a working definition of good eye contact? You'll get varying opinions, but you need to practice looking individuals in the eye for 3 to 5 seconds. Less than that, and you'll appear apprehensive. More, and the person you're looking at will feel overly stared at. This can be unnerving if you're not used to it, and it is far beyond the comfort zone of almost every new speaker. It takes practice, but if you work at it, you will improve. Here are some ways to help break bad eye habits. As you're talking, look someone straight in the eye and focus on that person, not yourself. Don't think about how nervous you are. Think about the message you're trying to deliver. Hold his or her look for a minimum of 3 seconds before moving to the next person. With practice, you'll learn to mentally gauge the time as you're talking. As you move from person to person, don't go down a line of people in successive order. This causes those who are next in line to start anticipating. It also makes you look too structured and rigid in your technique. This applies to small rooms as well, where you may have to look at people several times. Don't be afraid of this. Vary the locations of the faces your eyes travel to. In larger rooms, it's easier to be random. Go from one side of the room all the way to the other, then to the middle. Hold one person's stare, then move to a totally different place in the room. If it's an especially large room, you can walk slowly while moving your eyes up and down the rows to about every 10th person or so. Your best remedy for eye contact challenges is feedback from both video and others. Watch yourself to see where you can improve. Seeing yourself from the perspective of an audience member is always a learning experience. Then, ask others for honest feedback and don't take constructive criticism personally. The next best thing is just more practice. Take every opportunity, big and small, to gain experience for your next speaking engagement. It cannot overstress the importance of working on your eye contact. It is an essential conduit of interpersonal communication. How you move your eyes can actually help you regulate the flow of communication. The more you can improve your eye contact, the more integrity and authority you'll have with audiences. Why can't some people maintain eye contact? There are many things that one can do to make a positive impression, and this is going to include the impression one makes when they meet someone for the first time and in their existing relationships. And as human beings are not perfect, it is only natural that they are going to do things from time to time that will not create a positive impression. This is part of life and will not only depend on what one does, it will also depend on how the other person interprets what they do. So while one has a certain amount of control when it comes to how other people see them, it is also true that no matter what one does, it still doesn't mean that that will lead to a positive impression being formed. Compliments. A positive action can then go unnoticed or end up being interpreted in such a way that another person ends up feeling offended. One example of this is when one person gives a compliment or is complimentary in general. In their mind, they are purely focused on what they appreciate or admire in the other person. However, due to how they interpret their compliment or compliments in general, they are unable to accept it. This could create a bad taste in the other person's mouth, so to speak, and before long it could disappear. There is also the chance that it could stay with them and one is unable to do anything about it. Eye contact. One thing that one can do to create a good first impression is to maintain eye contact. This will be important in all their relationships. Clearly, there is more to creating a positive first impression or having a healthy relationship than eye contact alone, and yet, it is still important. Now, there are going to be people who have no trouble with this on the one side, and on the other side, there are going to be people who struggle with it. This could be something that affects all their relationships, or it could have an impact on a certain area of their life. When it exists. When one is able to maintain eye contact with someone, they are going to increase their chances of making and maintaining a good impression. The other person can end up feeling acknowledged, important, and that one can be trusted. But just because one is able to maintain eye contact in that one context, it doesn't mean they can maintain it in every context. So one part of their life could be fine, and another could be severely harmed as a result. When it doesn't. Here, one could be in a position where they are unable to hold eye contact with anyone. If it only relates to a certain area, it could still affect every other area of their life. For instance, one might be fine when it comes to their career, but when it comes to their intimate relationships, it could be a real challenge. And as this area is so important, it is going to have an effect on whole other areas of their life. As the saying goes, the eyes are the window to the soul, and without eye contact, it is going to make it difficult to experience intimacy. Pressure. So there is going to be the outer experience, and there is going to be the inner experience. On the outside will be the type of gaze that someone has on, and the inside will be how one feels and the thoughts that they have while they experience eye contact. However, if someone has trouble experiencing eye contact, it might not matter what another person's gaze is like. And this is because what is taking place externally can be accentuated by what is taking place internally. Benefits and consequences of efficient body language. What more can you accomplish with efficient body language? Have you ever wondered what kind of information is available from your body, how important it is, and who can read it? Did you know there's now a growing interest in profiting from learning to interpret this overlooked area of human behavior? What are the benefits and the consequences of this trend? Efficient body language complements efficient organizations. One of the major focal points of the information age has been on streamlining operations and making organizations efficient. With the ubiquitous use of spreadsheets and management software, hardly any business process has not been scrutinized and re-engineered. Although much time, energy, and frustration have been saved incorporating machines and computers into our lives and work, this intense focus on technological solutions may have made us blind to the information our bodies incorporate and express. Our body language can and often does contradict and even sabotage what our well-rehearsed mouths are communicating. Yet how aware are you of it when it occurs? The power and promise of gravity. For instance, observe how efficient the average person's relationship with gravity is. Most of us take this incredible attracting force for granted. Indeed, who has time to care about gravity when there are bills to pay, products to sell, and people to meet? Yet, think about how powerful the pull of gravity is when it comes to holding our world together. It even holds our moon in place. You are then welcome to marvel at the incredible amount of energy many of us use to resist this unavoidable force. For just a moment, think about how much better we could feel and how much more energy we would have, how much better we could express ourselves just by being conscious of and working a little more in line with the force of gravity. Most of us pay little or no conscious attention to the level of efficiency we use aligning our posture with gravity's pull. Since curiosity is an unavoidable part of human nature, it was only a matter of time before focus returned to profiting from the most efficient use of the body's language. What if that time is nowhere? Body language. One of the most influential modes of communication we utilize in our day-to-day interactions is our nonverbal, or our body language. It is the mode of communication which ignites our gut-level emotions and responses. Research has shown that acquiring an understanding of body language increases one's ability to be successful at getting anything one wants out of any given situation. Have you ever watched a couple sitting together and in minutes had a sense of how good or bad their relationship was? Did you ever wonder how you were able to come to this conclusion so quickly without any direct interaction? Whether you were aware of it or not, we spend our days responding to people's nonverbal cues projected through their body language and drawing conclusions about them from our observations. Our body language reveals the truth we hide with our words from the world, including how we really feel about ourselves, our relationships, and our situations. Through our eye contact, gestures, body stance, and facial expressions, the people we interact with can determine our intentions, the quality of our relationships, how masterful we are in any given situation, our confidence level, and what our true motivations and desires are. The power of body language is found in the emotional response it creates. Feelings drive decisions and reactions in virtually every situation. Nonverbal cues trigger feelings which determine core assets of an individual, such as truthfulness, trustworthiness, sincerity, skill level, and leadership abilities. The interpretation of these cues can determine who we date, the job we get hired for, what level of success we obtain, and even who may be elected into influential political positions. With such an important skill, why don't we spend years learning and developing effective body language skills? The truth is, most people undervalue the importance of body language until they are looking for a deeper understanding of human behavior in a personal relationship or to gain an edge in a competitive business situation. Mastery of body language provides people with the keys to interpret the meaning behind specific gestures and body movement, as well as providing an understanding on how to project and communicate messages effectively when dealing with others. As a result, overall effectiveness in interpersonal relationships is greatly increased. The best way to begin this process of mastery is to learn the basic interpretation of the two core body language types: open presence and closed presence. The closed presence body language type is featured in individuals who fold their body around the body's center line, which runs straight down the middle of the body from the top of the head to the feet. The physical characteristics which create this type of presence are feet placed close together, arms held close to the body, hands crossed on the body or held in front of the body, small hand gestures kept close to the body, shoulders rolled forward, and eyes focused just below eye level. The messages sent out to the world by the closed presence type of body language is a lack of confidence, low self-esteem, powerlessness, and a lack of experience. In extreme cases, one can even create the message of wanting to be invisible. The effects on the individual projecting this type of body language can range from simply not receiving the best opportunities possible to a worst-case scenario of harboring a self-fulfilling view of victimization. In contrast, the open presence is featured in individuals who create a sense of authority, power, and leadership by projecting confidence, success, strength, and skill mastery. The physical characteristics are feet held hip-wide apart, open hand gestures used in conversation away from the center line of the body, elbows held away from the body, shoulders held back, straight stances, and eyes focused at eye level of their listeners. These individuals are seen as attractive, successful, intelligent, and appear to have success come easily. We view this body language type as the body language of leaders. To improve body language and begin to project an open presence, the key is eye contact. Eye contact is one of the most important communication tools we own. By using direct eye contact when interacting with others, one can change the way people view them. When people begin to speak directly into a person's eyes, they are seen as confident, trustworthy, and skilled. Hand gestures and facial expressions are the second levels of change one can make to be viewed with open presence. These modes of communication lend themselves to increasing the ability to communicate messages clearly and effectively. By using open hand gestures away from the body and expressive facial effect skillfully, the greater impact is created when speaking by becoming more visually stimulating to the listener and increasing the amount of information provided during the interaction. As children, from an early age, we are taught that good boys and girls sit properly with legs together and hands folded in front of them. The encouragement to limit physical space as children can create some of the characteristics found in the body language of a closed presence in adulthood. To counter this effect, one can begin to adopt the characteristics of the open presence body language and incorporate these manners into their natural state of being. Once this behavioral change is completed, it will provide the same nonverbal impressions and messages as their open presence counterparts. The mastery of body language is vital to creating the most effective presence in all interpersonal interactions. Individuals without this mastery are prone to be misunderstood and find their efforts to communicate their ideas unsuccessful. With the ability to differentiate between the different modes of body language, anyone can achieve the mastery necessary to become successful in whichever endeavor they choose. Body language signals. So far, we have talked about all of those other people surrounding you. Here is your invitation to stand in front of a mirror, take a reflective inventory on all the questions above, and see how they relate to you and your body language. What does your body language say? How quick are you to acknowledge and adjust it? By the way, how many of those around you may also know how to read it? Change your eye color. Nowadays, you can change the color of your eyes, and it's as easy as changing clothes. You can start the day with one color and change to another later on. Colored contact lenses are perfect if you just want to enhance the natural color of your eye, but you can also change your eye color completely. Lately, the market for colored contact lenses has exploded. Prices are low and buying on the internet is easy. You can wear colored contact lenses even if you don't need any vision correction. There are monthly disposables, weekly disposable, and daily disposable color contact lenses, though monthly disposables are the most common. Many of these lenses have UVA and UVB protection. It's important to consult an optician before you decide to switch to color contact lenses. You need to try out which lens material and color work for you. Color contact lenses come in 3 categories: opaque, tinted, and enhancers. Opaque contact lenses. These have a non-transparent color, which makes it possible for people with dark eye color to use them. They can change the color of the eye completely. Dark brown eyes can become blue. Opaque lenses have a transparent circle in the middle. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see a thing. All people can wear opaque contact lenses. Tinted contact lenses. You can wear these if the natural color of your eyes is light blue, light green, gray, or light brown, and you just want a tinted effect. You can also get a glitter effect if you want. Don't trust the pictures you see on the internet or in catalogs too much. You might get disappointed. The color you get depends on your natural eye color. No effect can be guaranteed since the color will differ from person to person. Change your eye color in the blink of an eye. Did you ever wish you had a different eye color? Or maybe you just want to try something a bit crazy and have different colored eyes for each party? Color contacts can do wonders for your appearance, but only if you select the right type and color. Learn how to get the best out of your color lenses, what your options are, and what to consider when selecting your color contacts. Do color lenses really change your eye color and look natural? This is a question that worries most people who want to try color contacts for the first time. After all, you want people to think, "What gorgeous eyes she has," not, "What nice contact lenses she wears." Color lens manufacturers are aware of the issue and try to make color contacts look vivid yet natural. There is a lot of sophisticated technology involved in the brand name color contacts, like Aquaview, 2 Colors, or Fresh Look. The lens isn't just a solid color. It has a pattern similar to the pattern of a human eye. Also, the color isn't consistent throughout the lens, just like in most people's eyes. See color contact lens comparison. Color lens choices for light eyes. Depending on the effect you want to create, people with light eyes can wear enhancement or opaque color contacts. If you just want to enhance your natural color, half-transparent enhancement lenses would be great for you. The best choices are Aquaview 2 Color Enhancers to brighten your eyes, Fresh Look Radiance, lenses with an illuminating effect that enhances your color and makes your eyes appear sparkly. Fresh Look Dimensions, unique lens design makes your eyes appear not only brighter, but also helps create the impression of depth and dimension. If you feel adventurous and want to try a dramatic change, go for opaque lenses. Aquaview 2 Color Opaques, Fresh Look Color Blends. If it is your first time with color contact lenses and you aren't sure what effect you want, start with enhancement lenses. This way, your friends will notice that you look more appealing, but they probably won't notice what it is about you that attracts their attention. Color contact lenses for dark eyes. If you have very dark eyes and tried color contact lenses a few years ago, you probably were not very impressed with the effect. Contacts of the previous generation didn't quite look right. However, recently developed color lenses like Fresh Look Color Blends can do wonders for dark eyes. One thing to remember, however, is that enhancers don't work on brown eyes. so your only choice is opaque contact lenses. AcuView 2-color opaque and Fresh Look color blends work best for dark eyes. Control of dominance behavior. Dominant dogs require special training, but so do their owners. Too often, an exasperated dog owner will scream or strike out in sheer frustration as the dog pushes the owner beyond bearable limits. Or the overwhelmed owner will treat the dog the way Helen Keller's parents treated her, turning her into an animal until Annie arrived on the scene. In the words of Captain Keller to Annie Sullivan, "Give her everything she wants. Backfire." So let's start with you, the dog owner. Understand that your own attitude and timing are critical for a successful outcome. One of the most important things to remember when working with a dominant dog is to keep your cool. Yelling is counterproductive and only turns a difficult animal off. Yelling escalates the problem. You can't fight fire with fire. Instead, remember that iron sharpens iron. Focus. It's up to you to be steady, firm, and consistent, and to make sure that you are calm when you begin your daily work with your dog. This approach is not inconsistent with love. For those who love their children and dogs will teach them, lead them, and discipline them with a consistent, fair, and firm hand, so that they can be the best they can be. That is the goal with your dog. Take control. To do this, it is very important for you to establish and maintain steady eye contact when taking authority over your dominant dog. While the submissive dog will look away, the dominant one will hold the stare. Eye contact is also critical for you to hold the dog's attention and keep him in an obedient posture. In dog language, the first one who looks away loses and submits. So let your eyes send the focused message of control and authority. Also, you must claim all things the dominant dog considers his possessions, whether toys, rugs, bones, or whatever. You must present yourself as the dominant one, and all things in the house as yours. Only then do you invite him in and share these things with him. You cannot allow the dog to claim or take possession of anything. You do not want to encourage the development of more dominant behaviors, possessiveness, or aggression. Indeed, aggression dog dominance naturally evolves from uncorrected dominance posture. Instead, break the cycle. Another key to breaking dog dominance behavior: do not allow the dog to have what he wants for free. Make him earn it. Earn it, not own it. For example, a dominant dog should have a good walk or strenuous exercise before he is fed, such as a 30-minute walk at a brisk pace, followed by a cool-down time, or he will get sick. He should be required to abide by rules and to respond obediently to your leadership, so that he feels he is working with purpose and worth. It is exciting to watch a formerly out-of-control dog stand proudly with a happy gleam in his eye because he knows he has a job and boundaries, that he does not have the burden of controlling things and can trust in you, and that he has achieved something of perceived worth and pleased you. That dog then takes joy in obedience. Then he's earned the right to something he wants, not as a training tool or a bribe, but removed from the actual training time. Not as something he owns, but a gift from you, an expression of your general pleasure and affection, and only when you choose to give it. Only in your timing. You possess the control. Don't relinquish it. There is an explicit dog training technique to use on a dominant dog. It contains a little-known technique about your focus, so that the dog actually smells and senses your authority and control. It also applies the dog communication system of silence, submission, and leadership. The dog whisperer behavior approach, in familiar terms. After all, for effective communication with your dog, to command and control his attention and focus in a positive, constructive manner, you must speak his language. Eye contact as a mean of dominance. You convey a tremendous amount of information about yourself when you first make eyes with a woman. In one glance, you are telling her what you think of her, what you think of yourself, what you think of yourself in comparison to her, what your emotional state is, and whether or not you are a threat, how confident you are. The list goes on and on. If you want to get girls to see you as a potential mate, you absolutely need to make the right first impression. Good, confident eye contact will go a long way towards getting girls to see you as an attractive, dominant male. Before we discuss what good contact is on your part, let's go over what her eye contact means to you. If you make eye contact with a girl and she immediately looks towards the floor before eventually looking back at you, you're in like flint. Approach as soon as logistically feasible. This is submissive eye contact, and in our culture, when a woman does this, she is usually attracted to you. When a woman looks at you, then immediately looks up and then off to the side, she is expressing repulsion. This is a strong indication that you will probably have very little success picking her up. A look off to the side means either she's indifferent to you, hasn't made up her mind, or has something else on her mind. A good rule of thumb is to interpret everything except for the upward look as a sign of availability. A girl who locks eyes with you may either have emotional issues or she may be interested. You will have to go with your gut feeling on that one and take the other variables into consideration. Okay, now that you know what her eye contact means, we need to go over what your eye contact should be like and how that can be practiced. First of all, you do not stare down women like you would an aggressive dog. Your eyes need a quality of softness to them. Creepy is not what we are shooting for. A good way to soften up your look is to add the quality that is often referred to as bedroom eyes. Your eyes should have an extremely relaxed look to them. The way this is done consciously is by relaxing your eyelids so that your upper eyelid drops down. You don't get girls by squinting at them, so your face is to remain relaxed. This usually takes some practice. I would do so in front of a mirror so you can see how it looks. Now that you know the look you are trying to convey, you are going to practice it on oncoming pedestrians in the mall or walking down the street. As you see a woman approaching, about 30 feet away, you are to pick one eye and lock eye contact. Soft eyes, relaxed face. Once you pick an eye, do not falter. You are not to switch eyes or look away. You remain looking at her until she looks away. If she doesn't and returns eye contact, it's quite all right to say hi when she is about 5 feet away. Just remember that this exercise isn't to get girls to talk, only to teach you proper eye contact. Eye contact as a means of attraction. Eye contact is a good way to start building attraction with your eyes. Eye contact is a powerful tool when it comes to mating, especially if building attraction with your eyes is your goal. Some people say that the eyes are the window to the soul. This is correct because a person's eyes can say a lot. You give away different messages by the way you look at someone. People can tell if you're insecure or confident. Dating is almost the same as hunting. A man who is looking for a mate should be confident. When spotting a woman who can be a potential mate, a man should look at her. That shows interest. However, a man should not look at a woman for too long. Glancing at a woman and smiling means the man is interested. If the man looks way too long, and if the man has a psycho look, the woman might be scared. For this reason, it is good to look at a woman and smile. Mating rituals have remained in our subconscious despite the evolution of our brains. Women are looking for a man who is strong and a man who can protect them. As men, our confidence is one of our strongest weapons when it comes to dating. Some women can improve how they look if they fix their hair or change the way they dress. However, men cannot alter their appearance dramatically. That is why confidence is a must. That is why when you find a girl who you must glance at her casually and smile, she might like you too. However, you must pay attention to her cues, since making eye contact is just the first step towards building attraction with your eyes. Eye contact test. Try this. Walk out along the street and hold eye contact with people as you go about your day. People will be walking past and have their heads down, but try it. Uncomfortable? Feel a pressure to look away? Now try it wearing sunglasses. How much easier is it trying to get eye contact when you're behind sunglasses? Does it feel a bit more comfortable? The sunglasses are like a mask. It's a hell of a lot easier to try looking people in the eye because you know they cannot do the same to you. If you want a spiritually sexual innuendo, they cannot penetrate your soul. It's amazing how just the simple act of covering your eyes can allow you to feel a bit more powerful and confident. So what does this tell you? Eye contact is easy when we feel we are hidden from view. But why would we hide? Or why would we divert our eyes from sustained eye contact? Simple. Because we feel vulnerable and unconfident. We feel people can know everything about us. On the other hand, they are a means to avoid being challenging. When someone gets into a rage and they want to attack, they often give no eye contact before they lash out. They don't want to give away any signals. So ask yourself what you are communicating when you avoid eye contact. 1. You are vulnerable or low in status. 2. You feel inferior to the other person, so you don't want to appear challenging or to draw attention. 3. Both of the above suggest little or no confidence. Eye contact training. How to use eye contact to build powerfully attractive self-confidence. In law of attraction circles, they say you're better off focusing on what you've got rather than what you haven't got. The theory is that if you focus on lack, you'll get more lack. If you focus on abundance, you'll get more abundance. Makes sense, right? How can you leverage this to get more success with women? Here's a tale of two guys. Both haven't been laid in a while. Both would kill for some action. First guy's walking down the street, sees a cutie. He catches her eye. She smiles at him before breaking off eye contact. He thinks to himself, I'd never get a girl like her, and looks down at the ground dejectedly. He sticks his hands in his pocket, heads down to the local bar, and goes on a bender, wallowing in his own poverty mindset. The second guy's walking down the street, sees the same girl, gets the same reaction. Only he thinks, wow, there sure are a lot of cuties out today. I wonder how many I'll make eye contact with. The first guy focused on what he didn't have, a girlfriend. The second guy focused on what he does have, opportunities. Now, obviously, just switching your thinking like this isn't going to make horny females rain down from the heavens begging to jump on your Johnson. But it will create a much more outgoing, confident, and charismatic attitude. It won't happen overnight, but if you force your brain to think like the second guy, in a short while, you'll not only be making eye contact, but you'll be talking to and number closing more and more girls. Because you will have trained your brain to associate the idea of plenty of women out there with each and every girl you see. Now, because focusing on lack is much, much more natural, this is going to take some time. If you read this, agree that it's a good idea, you'll likely forget about it the next time you see a cute girl out there. Which is why you'll need to think of this exercise just like it is. Exercise. Meaning you go out to exercise your brain and your frame, just like you'd specifically go out running every day or go to the club every day. Eye contact. How to use eye contact for success, dating, and life. By Emir Walds. Narrated by Ray Taves. Copyright 2018. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced in any form by any means without permission in writing from the publisher, Emir Walls. If you like my book, please leave a review on Amazon. I would appreciate it a lot. Thanks. Eye laser surgery treatment. If you are thinking of getting an eye surgery to remove the hassle of wearing spectacles or contact lenses, then here is what you need to know. Using eye laser surgery treatment is a popular method today to correct common eye problems, such as astigmatism and myopia. However, you need to be educated on the risk of getting the surgery done on your eye. You need to understand that not everybody is suitable for eye surgery, and there is a heavy financial cost to getting one. After reading this article, you should be able to know whether you are suited in having eye surgery. One thing before getting eye laser surgery is to always consult a medical professional first. Make a trip to your nearest ophthalmologist and have him or her assess whether you are fit for eye surgery. You will definitely be questioned about your medical history, so be prepared. You might ask the ophthalmologist about the risk and side effects of the surgery itself. Finally, ask yourself if you really need an eye surgery in the first place. There are currently 2 types of eye surgery that are commonly being done. One is the LASIK surgery, and the other is the LASEK surgery. There are definitely differences between these two, so make sure you know which one you are going to do. For LASEK surgery, the surgeon will use a small surgical blade to create a thin layer of the flap on your cornea, so the surgeon can access your deeper levels of the cornea that need to be lasered during surgery. LASIK, on the other hand, will make use of an alcohol solution to loosen up the outer corneal layer, so the surgeon can have access to your deeper levels of corneal where the laser surgery will be done. The more popular method chosen by many patients will be LASIK surgery. The biggest advantage when it comes to LASIK surgery is the recovery period isn't as long as LASEK surgery. While you can resume your normal lives a day after LASIK, it may take as long as 1 week for the eye to function properly for LASIK. You will be glad to know that laser eye treatment is a common mainstream treatment, and many famous celebrities have it done. Celebrities like Tiger Woods have undergone eye treatment to improve his vision, which is very crucial since he is a golfer, and knowing how to judge distance is one of paramount importance to any golfer. Many people have reported having higher self-esteem when they don't need to wear glasses. No more hassle of maintaining and cleaning your spectacles or contact lenses. In my opinion, I don't think the eyes were ever meant to have foreign objects inserted into them for 24/7. Eye surgery treatment is a relatively safe treatment, many thanks to the advancement of technology. However, surgery is still a surgery, and every surgery comes with risk and complications. Facts about eye contact. Did you know that eye contact is like Goldilocks and the 3 Bears? It's true. Too much eye contact is instinctively felt to be rude, hostile, and condescending. And in a business context, it may also be perceived as a deliberate intent to dominate, intimidate, belittle, or make the other feel at a disadvantage. If you have in mind doing one of those things, it's better to avoid too much eye contact. Too little, on the other hand, can make you appear uneasy, unprepared, and insincere. In its analysis of patients' complaints, for example, one large county hospital found that 9 out of 10 letters included mention of poor doctor-patient eye contact, a failure which was generally interpreted as a lack of caring. Just the right amount of eye contact, the amount that produces a feeling of mutual likability and trustworthiness, will vary with situations, settings, personality types, gender, and cultural differences. As a general rule, though, direct eye contact, ranging from 30 to 60% of the time during a conversation, more when you are listening, less when you are speaking, should make for a comfortable and productive atmosphere. And did you know these other facts about eye contact? Eye contact produces a powerful subconscious sense of connection that extends even to drawn or photographed eyes, a fact demonstrated by researchers at Cornell University who manipulated the gaze of the cartoon rabbit on several Trix cereal boxes. asked a panel of adults to choose one, and discovered, as they expected, that the box most frequently chosen was the one in which the rabbit was looking directly at them rather than away. We reduce eye contact when we are talking about something shameful or embarrassing, when we are sad or depressed, and when we are accessing internal thoughts or emotions. We increase eye contact when dealing with people we like, admire, or who have power over us. In more intense or intimate conversations, we naturally look at another more often and hold that gaze for longer periods of time. In fact, we judge relationships by the amount of eye contact exchanged. The greater the eye contact, the closer the relationship. Females look more at those they are talking to than do males. That's one of the reasons women prefer a face-to-face conversation, while men are content to talk standing side by side. We avoid eye contact in elevators, subways, crowded buses, or trains. In elevators, we face the door. In the others, we stare at our smartphones because it helps us manage the insecurity of having our personal space invaded. Waiters may avoid eye contact to send customers the signal, "I'm too busy to deal with you right now." Employees often keep their eyes down when the boss appears with a tricky question or looks like he's going to ask for volunteers. The biggest body language myth about liars is that they avoid eye contact. While some liars, most often children, find it difficult to lie while looking directly at you, many liars, especially the most brazen, actually overcompensate to prove that they are not lying by making too much eye contact and holding it too long. If a speaker actively seeks out eye contact when talking, he or she is judged to be more believable, confident, and competent. Eye contact is so powerful a force because it is connected with humans' earliest survival patterns. Children who could attract and maintain eye contact, and therefore increase attention, had the best chances of being fed and cared for. Today, newborns instinctively lock eyes with their caregivers, and the power of that infantile eye contact still retains its impact on the adult mind. Whether it's the shifty-eyed guilt or wide-eyed innocence, we automatically assign enormous credence to the signals we give and get when we look into each other's eyes. Fire and passion in her eyes. When she can't seem to take her eyes off of you, when she keeps sending you flirting signals and you yourself can't hold on because of sexual tension, then by all means, do your move before it's too late. Blame it on your raging hormones. Maybe it's just your imagination that she's hitting on you or something. Do you know that there are actually techniques for you to use to be sure if she's that hot for you or not? And it's all in the eyes. Below are the 4 signs of sexual attraction through eye contact. Maintaining the gaze. Maintaining eye contact is already a surefire sign that she's flirting with you. There's no doubt about it. This persistent and lingering eye contact is charged with emotion, tension, and definitely with sexual attraction. Stare right back and alternatively look at the lips. Now that's what we call intense flirting. Intense eyes. You can do a lot of techniques with your eyes if you want to let someone know that you're checking them out. One effective way is to give them the intense eyes. This is a very sharp type of sexual eye contact that can send shivers up and down your spine. The hard stare that has no inhibitions whatsoever in letting you know this person downright desires to get some action started, and he or she definitely wants it in bed. Fleeting glances. You think she's getting pretty shy? Better think again. The fleeting glances are more than just simply glimpses. This type of eye contact is teasing and naughty. It's like she's asking you for a challenge, if you're up for it or not. A great way to build sexual tension and excitement. Being playful is always sexy. It keeps you guessing what's going to happen next. But rest assured, it's all going to be good. Staring you up and down. Feeling a little bit bold and naughty? The staring you up and down technique will work for you. This could be the strongest type of sexual eye contact. The person doing this is plainly checking you, imagine you as a potential bed partner, and they have absolutely no problems in letting you know about it. There's no trace of shyness or reserve in this one. It's extremely flirty type, couples with it a slow licking of your lips. This could make both of you running to the nearest private room available.